Hey, it's time to talk about talk about Outlander. I don't even know if I have my audio on. Hold on. Nope, wrong microphone. Let's fix this. How are y'all? Say hi, everybody.
Hello, hello.
Hi. Oh, it's
We're
just
here
us and Dawn.
We're here to talk
Outlander.
Dawn.
Apparently something called the mid-season finale. I was under the impression that it was a whole ass finale, and it's not.
I just watched the finale and I cried. That finale was called Good Omens.
Yeah, I was about to say, are you talking about the finale of Good Omens? Because fuck that. Fuck, this made you cry. I could see how it would make some people cry, but not us. Not us.
I didn't cry.
I watched the last 3 episodes, like boom, 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 and I cannot tell a difference between anything that happened in any of the episodes.
Amy, is your microphone on?
Can you not hear me?
I can hear you.
It's just quiet. Oh, maybe I'll just turn my volume up. Maybe it's a me problem. Okay.
Is it me?
I don't think so.
I don't know. I turned my volume all the way up. Now I can hear everyone. So hooray.
Okay. Hi.
It's funny how that works. My microphone's really far away from my face. So do I sound funny?
No.
Mine is like right here.
I mean, I could move it, but I don't want to touch it. Also, I would never show y'all this angle if I cared about this show. You would never get me neck up for something I care about, but I don't care.
Wait, what do you usually do?
Normally it's like up here.
She gets the I don't have anything tall enough to do that. So y'all getting all my chins all the time.
But I also have a lamp over there, and that would be like lots of shadow.
Jessica asked why they split the season. Cash money. It's all on stars.
Cash money. And they did that with the first season as well, if you recall. It was like 6 months between.
I laughed because it recommends things that you can watch, and I was like, it was that J-Lo movie with Owen Wilson, and I was like, you mean the one that's been on free on Peacock for a year? Oh my gosh, you guys got the content,
right? Like, didn't I see that on Tubi a couple months ago? Meredith is canceling stars. Very smart.
Meredith, are you going to rejoin again when the second half of Outlander comes back?
I'll just give everybody my streaming access, or my what they're called, screener access.
Do you still get it?
Who wants my star screeners, guys?
Yeah, but do they still do that stupid thing where you have to like log in and send in a code, the multi-factor? Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah,
thank you.
I have to use like an authenticator app for like my Google account and like a bank account, and that's it. And stars. Like, why do they think they're that important? You're not my bank, and you're not Google. But I still have to use an authenticator app with you. No, thank you. That's when I stopped. I'm just kidding. I'm not giving anybody my screener access. That's against the rules.
Have you even watched it via the screener?
Not since season 4 or 5.
Okay.
You have to draw blood to get those screeners now, because I was getting them for my other site and it was wild. Like the hoops that you had to jump through. And I was like, this is not, you guys, no. Also, I think that they divided it because they had they had a lot of episodes. So it behooves them to split it 2 and 2. Because this is sort of the end of book 7 anyway, really.
They're going into book 8?
I mean, parts of it are.
Wow. That's not even Echo. Like, Echo was book 7, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is going into Bees?
My Own Heart's Blood.
Moby.
When did Lord John they do it? Which book is that?
So,
and when I ask these questions, Andy, I'm asking you.
Mm-hmm.
That's book 8. Book 7.
No, that's Echo. I do know that's Echo. Yeah, that's Echo.
They're
That's book
definitely
7.
things are crossing over.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think Roger and Bree, the stuff that's happening to them is further along because they're missing all of Moby, and then they come back.
Imagine what it
Right?
would be like if they were missing a whole season. No Roger and Bree. How
At
lovely
least
the
they
world would be.
You know what though? At least Roger and Bree, Echo for Roger and Bree ended with part 1 of 6. Yes, that's what I thought, Amy. Thank you for that. Because I was like, I know that they're ahead of where Jamie and Claire are in this magnificent timeline.
I like
Because
what
they'll be back.
Jessica just said Men in Kilts is more of an entertaining show than Outlander. I don't watch Men in Kilts. I never have. But I do see the promos for it. And I have to agree simply because the dynamic between Sam and Graham, like the grumpy sunshine and like the himbo and like the like reluctant grumpy bisexual that is Graham, great. I really enjoy it. And yeah, that's got to be more entertaining.
And boy,
there's no
does
dynamic.
Sam plays up
Outlander.
the himbo to the hilt. And
I mean,
I'm not really sure.
they're clearly playing caricatures of their personalities. They're not like that, but I enjoy it. Just the promos that I see.
The reflection of Sam's intelligence in that show was pretty much everything I ever got from him, though. So,
like I said, it's a caricature, so it's not true. But yeah,
shh, pretty. Don't talk.
right.
That's always what I thought.
Has there been any humor in the Claire? What is that? Who's singing? Who's playing Phil Collins?
Amy. That's right, because we didn't talk about that. I was away.
No.
What are we talking about?
We haven't talked about that yet.
What are we talking about?
Roger and Bree sex, baby. Come on.
They was doing it to that song. And like when the do, that's when people got naked and then they were having sex.
Didn't they do that in the Americans?
Yes.
So they had sex to that song in the Americans?
They had sex to so many songs in the Americans. How can you keep track?
But that's the really good one where they do the needle drop. Right when they
Yes.
They took a whole ass scene from the Americans and gave it to Roger and Bree, the couple with the least chemistry of all time. When Matthew Reese and Felicity have the most chemistry of anybody because they're really lovers. They really left their respective partners for each other when they started doing the Americans because that's how hot they were.
And they did it in the trailer. And then they were wearing they were covered up with an Afghan, like a nice wool yarn Afghan, nice and scratchy on the skin.
They did it in the trailer.
Yeah, because
I told you that's why they had it. I told you that's why they had it, so they could have sex without their kids knowing about it.
Your kids are staying in the trailer with them.
Oh, dumb.
The house makes no sense. We can get to that. But like when they're doing it, they're side by side, so you can't see Bree's titty because her arm is, like perfect like this. And they're doing it side facing each other on their sides.
Nobody does that.
Nobody does that. If you do, it's for like 1 minute until you're like, you're on my leg. I can't
or like, ow, your hip bone is digging into my thigh.
But she's like, and I'm just like, so bad.
Did anybody like the sex scene? Did I missed the discourse?
You know what distracted me in this sex scene was me thinking, what year is this? And was this song actually even out then?
I thought that too. The other thing I got distracted by was the fact that I was like, oh, like, looks like Sophie Skelton's agent's doing a lot more than Katrina Balf's because she was real covered up in that sex. It was like, and it was awkwardly covered up. Like the arm placement. And I'm like, that is not a comfortable way to have sex at all. Like, what are you doing? And I get it, but like, choose a different shot for the camera then. Like, it
so could you see go ahead.
Every single sex scene, or even like when people are together in a bed, is the Titanic looking down at the old people getting ready to drown angle.
Ugh. A
Because-
drone
But
shot.
it also had like a weird side shot where he was like very carefully covering up her boob so that you could see no nip. It
Okay,
was no-
honestly, is it all titty but no areola? What's the point? What are you covering up at that point?
Yeah, you don't see the areola. I feel like when I was breastfeeding, more people saw my titties at Panera Bread than like the show
Yes.
shows.
Yes.
Jessica is correct. It was uncomfortable to watch, and Roger was covering her boob with his hand. It's all I was watching. I was like, her
Well,
agent. This
Did
is
he
not
have
in her
like a
contract.
did he have like a grab on her titty, or was he just
No,
See, that's dumb. If the point is that you're not supposed to show the nipple, then just grab the titty. Have the nipple
Mhm.
in your palm. Have the nipple in your mouth. That's hot.
Or have it covered up by the Afghan and then have your arm somewhere else so it looks like you're, getting some C action going. And then maybe I'll buy that this is an angle to get you off.
Dumb. Dawn said it's been like this ever since they brought in the intimacy coordinator. The intimacy coordinator, my understanding, their actual job is probably to protect the actor in the moment. It is not to create good sex scenes on screen.
that's not true.
Is it
The
not?
The intimacy coordinator helps them choreograph that shit.
But for the purpose of protecting
Of-
the actor,
Yes.
not to create a good sex scene on screen.
But one would think that a good intimacy coordinator would be able to do
Could
both.
do both.
Well, they also don't have final say in what gets put. I mean, there's editors, there's a director, there's other things going on. So, I mean, I think that like I just watched Red, White, and Royal Blue. That's so hard for me to say, by the way. I don't know if other people can say it, but I cannot say it. And their sex scenes were sexless sex scenes. Like they were not sexy. Their hands were like clawed on each other, like they didn't want to touch each other. And somebody was like, "You have to put your hand on his back," and he was like, "Okay." And it was just really, 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 really bad. And I thought to myself, at what point is the intimacy coordinator like? Is the point of what they're doing being like, "Okay, stroke his back," and then being like, "Okay, no, we saw that. We were in Video Village and we saw what you just did. Your hand is a claw. Please stroke his back like you want to feel what his back feels like." And
Right.
like that, the actor can or cannot do it. You know what I'm saying? But like, I don't know. I feel like the intimacy coordinator was brought on because they were feeling like Stars was not protecting them. It was not brought on because the sex scenes in season 1, 2, and 3 weren't good. They were fine-ish, some of them.
Yeah, I mean, the sex scenes have never been really realistic from the beginning. The way that the second you enter Claire, she's
Right, but I think they had like the wedding episode is not. I don't really remember what my initial thought on the wedding episode was, but I remember it being fine. Right?
I liked it.
yeah, it
And
was fine.
And the last one that I remember from this show was probably like when he turns 50, like the day he turns 50 and they're in the tent. I don't know what season that was.
I don't remember that at all. I remember the really good sex between Jamie and Geneva. The hottest Outlander sex scene that ever was. Sorry.
Oh, I
I
disagree.
don't even remember that.
Really? I
I'm
thought
gonna have
they
to
had a
go
lot
back.
of chemistry. I was like, why do I feel more chemistry from Jamie and Geneva than I have
that
from
could be
Jamie
it.
and Claire ever?
Yeah.
I mean, except the wedding episode. I guess that
Yeah.
one was.
Like it's kind of like they could even give me the most mind-blowing sex scene of all time and I would still just be like, because there's so many things that are distracting me. Like, why do you still have this trailer? Why was even just like the setup with Buck of I don't want to leave him in my house all day, so I'm just going to take him to work. Like that was dumb as hell. And the reason that they did that was so that Buck could witness Rob flirting with her or whatever. Like she's after your man. But the whole time I'm just like, I hate you. I hate this show.
Who is Buck?
William Buckley.
You just watched?
I didn't know who is that the guy that was with them that went through the stones? I didn't know who
Yes.
that was the whole time. I thought he was
Nick-
like a contractor. I was like, why are
That's-
they saying all this stuff about the gold in front of this guy who's going to do their plumbing later?
He's Mick Mulvaney. Remember we talked about him
Mick? No, what? No.
because he's a Knucklevy. What's his name?
The Knucklevy.
He's a Knucklevy.
Oh.
Mick Mulvaney.
Okay. I remember now. But
And so he is sleeping in their home, which is a cathedral that has a kitchen, but no one can seem to sleep in this vast cathedral.
I saw that. Where did that come from?
They're all sleeping in the trailer.
Hold on.
So
Hey,
his
bud,
off-
will you get me another Clearly Canadian? The peach one.
Clearly Canadian. What
They still
year
make
is it?
We found
just
them.
started
We
again.
found them at Costco. They're so good. It
Yeah.
took me right back to 1996. I'm telling
Sure
you.
did. Sure does. Clearly Canadian.
Yep. Excellent.
Yeah.
So he is a time. Thank you, baby. He's a time traveler, and he's Graham's son or something.
Yes,
Dougal's
he's Graham
son?
and Gaelus's son, and he's Roger's 5th great grandfather or something.
And he's not the one that Roger got hit by in season 4.
He is. He's the one who hung him.
He's
But he's not Graham.
Hung.
But he's not Graham.
Exactly. So when he turned around and he punched him, like, we're supposed to be like, oh, who are you? I'm like, literally, who the fuck are you? Because you're not Graham. So they did not cast Graham in that. We were just supposed to know that was. Again, if you're not a book reader, you would have been like, who is this person?
So they made it seem like it was this big revelation when he showed up again.
Yes.
But he doesn't have the same face as the person.
No.
You can't pull a Days of Our Lives on a regular premium television show. You can't just change a person's face. It doesn't work like that.
Unless you're Beelzebub, and then you can just explain why.
Yes.
You're all of a sudden
Well,
Lady Mary from Bridgerton.
Get ready for season 7 part 2.
Oh yeah, because
Jenny's
different.
replaced.
Does this person look anything like her?
But you can change an actor if you have to. I mean, we begged for them to change Brianna after season 2, right? You can change an actor. You just can't like do stunt casting or then expect the actor to be like reintroduced and their face be a big deal. Like their reintroduction has to be, it's so good to see you again. You know what I mean? It has to be normal.
Diana's asking, are we so we haven't done this for 3 weeks, right?
2
3
weeks.
episodes.
It's been at least 3 weeks.
Did you guys do an
correct,
episode
but
without me?
No, there was a break. So there between 707 and 708, there was no episode. So it is 707 and 708.
But we haven't talked about Outlander since 705.
Yes, and we were
Really?
doing 3. We were doing 706, 707,
And 6.
708.
But
I don't
didn't
remember
watch.
what happened in 706. So
I don't either. I don't remember, and I just watched it yesterday.
Well, if anybody's questioning now that we've been on for 18 minutes, we're discussing 708 because that's the only one I watched. But y'all feel free to talk about anything else that happened.
I wrote down my complaints on the notes app as I'm watching it. And this is like, it really kind of struck me because one of the music interludes felt very Last of the Mohicans. Like you could tell they were trying to do and that movie was sweaty and swarthy and sexy and dirty. So one of my biggest complaints is every fucking person, every redcoat is clean as a whistle. No one has blood. No one has mud. No one looks sweaty. Like it's May. There's no bugs. Everything is just anodyne. Yeah. And it's just hard for me to get into the fear of war when it just looks like they all just got dressed and showed up and everything's clean and nothing is stank.
Like I can't go camping for 15 minutes and not be covered in grit.
Yeah.
You can't spend months in an outdoor campaign and not be absolutely filthy.
Yeah.
So I agree.
So that bugged me.
I
said, they have a huge house and still live in a trailer? Why does he need to go to work with Bree? That's again, like, I don't understand why the Mick Mulvaney had to go to work with Brianna. So when Brianna discovers that the Muckle Merson has come back, she is.
His name is Buck, right?
When she discovers that Buck comes back, now I can understand her being like a little salty with him. Still, he tried to kill her husband. However, Roger did try to kiss Buck's wife, Morag, I mean, in the book, he kisses her twice, but Bree is such a fucking bitch to him and is like, "Why are you here? Why did you come back?" And it's like, where's he gonna go? He didn't know anything. He doesn't know what happened to him. He is like confused and lost. And she's just being annoying.
Well, how did he come through? What happened?
By accident. He heard the bees and then he went
And
to
how
go
did he
investigate.
how did he stumble upon them?
He saw them and he saw Roger somewhere in town. He came back through in Craignadoon, and then he saw Roger like in town in a bookshop and followed him home.
That's convenient.
I mean, that bit of time travel, you needing
Yeah.
to be thinking of someone, blah blah blah.
What's the point?
Unclear.
But that whole scene with him and Bree was she showed him no compassion. She showed him no understanding. Like it just did not make any sense that she would be acting that way.
What's the point in him being there? What's the narrative point?
Because then eventually when they go back through it's so Roger can have a traveling companion.
Basically.
Then why couldn't it just be that he met him again when he travels through? You know what I mean? Why couldn't he have met him? Why couldn't he have met him in the past and been his travel companion?
Because I don't think that is where Roger was going.
Aren't they going through in Craignadoon? Talking about Inverness.
I think that
know.
she wrote it that way so he can be like a true like family member traveling companion. And also she needed another character to throw in at us.
And she wanted that moment where they turn around and there's Buck in the future.
To show
in the
that
80s.
Like he can also travel. But then like so when they go through the stones, because he's like, I heard the buzzing and it called to me and I had to go back and see it. When Mandy and Bree see them off, they're just standing there like,
I know.
Hi. And I was like, shouldn't you be in agony? Shouldn't you be in pain? Shouldn't you be seeing like your ley lines that you just went through the tunnels and everything's
But is it painful? Because is it painful?
In the book,
I
it's
don't know.
painful. They talk about it like ripping your guts out. It can almost kill you. Roger's really descriptive about what it feels like when you go through.
I don't know. Nothing makes sense on this show. But I did. Okay, I will say, I didn't watch 7 or 6 or whatever. But I thought that 8 at this mid season finale was a good episode.
I did
I'm going to
too.
say, in terms of Outlander episodes that I've seen in recent years, this one, I didn't hate it. Probably because there was very little Bree and Roger and very much a lot of what seems to be in my head Jamie and Claire moments, and a pace that at the very least made sense. And I think because in the finales, they tend to end them on this like hopeful forward movement. And in every other episode, they try to end them with some stunt that always falls flat. And so the finales tend to be, for the most part, episodes that we all tend to like because they are okay usually with how they end them. And they don't do like some weird stunt thing that tries to move you forward into the next episode. But I don't know. It was good.
Yeah. It was fine. Who's the hot guy that got his back beat to shit?
I don't know.
That's
that
the
character?
guy. He's in charge of Jamie's rifle division.
Yeah, but
I forget his name.
Oh, when they had that like smoldering stare off together, I'm just like,
and he's like
Daniel Morgan, Meredith. Oh God, you people remember everything. I love you.
Yeah.
Yes, Daniel Morgan in charge of the rifle.
Okay, Jamie finally had an action scene. I'm just gonna say this. No one's gonna get this reference, but this is what I was thinking about the entire time. That Battle of Saratoga scene was so cheap.
Oh no, I knew exactly what you.
So, there are 12 people in this scene. 12. They couldn't get 200 extras. They couldn't get a wide shot. They couldn't get anything that looked like an actual battle and not Jamie fighting by himself 12 dudes. Those were the cheapest war scenes battle scenes of anything I've ever seen. And there's this movie that my family loves. We watch it. We've been watching it
Is
since
this
I was a little kid.
Ernest?
Ernest. I'm glad that you remembered. That means that you love me. That makes me really happy. There is a scene in Ernest's family album. It's actually called Hey Vernon's My Family Album, where Ernest is talking about his like great Davy Crockett kind of ancestor. All right. And Davy Crockett goes to this like fort, and it's being like hounded by the native tribe that's trying to come in. And he has to pretend to be every character in the fort because there's nobody there. It's abandoned. And that's what that fucking scene looked like. He's dressed like Davy Crockett. He's dressed like Ernest from Hey Vernon's My Family Album. It's got the same fucking Saratoga. The fence looked the same. There's about as many people in it. In that scene, there is one person, and it's Jim Varney. And that's how many people that look like was in that scene from Hey Vernon's My Family Album. And at least that was funny. That scene was terrible.
That's what I wrote down. I wrote, could they have dredged up any more extras? And I think because they do film way in advance of the season airing, maybe this was some sort of COVID protocol issue. I don't know. All I know is
we have all seen stuff that's been filmed during COVID. Amy and I just watched Good Omens, and they have a Soho set that's bigger than this Saratoga's battle scene set.
They have 100
and it's
zombies.
filled. There's at least 200 people in this tiny little street in Soho, and it's definitely happening during COVID. Heartstopper, they're filming in the middle of fucking Paris, in the middle of COVID. They could get some people. It's so cheap. They are so fucking cheap on this show, and they spend their money on the wrong fucking things. Big house.
Decor, the trailer. Some of the furniture in that trailer, I'm just like, what in the knoll? I mean, fancy good velvet shit in your trailer. And they have it decorated not like it's going to be some kind of like temporary place.
Oh, no. It's going to be there forever. Young Ian appearing out of nowhere. What? He just jumped up.
Yep.
That show is bonkers, y'all. They have no idea what they're doing.
Why?
He looked good, though. Young Ian looked sexy.
I thought Jamie looked sexy in this one.
Yeah.
Like his wig or something was working when he's a little bit smudged. Like, when he kind of turns around and gives you the... I like
He was fine. He looked the same to me. He looked like Jim Varney, though, in that little Davy Crockett outfit he was wearing.
Beth really liked Katrina's wig.
That was Amy. That was if you watched our Insta story, that was all Amy.
I was like,
what is that from? What is that lady from? I know
Laugh-In. It's Ruth Buzzy. She was on Laugh-In.
I knew that I knew it, but I couldn't place it.
Age. I was like,
no, I'd seen it, but I could not place it. And I was like, I know what this is, but I can't think of what it is.
And I just thought, would Claire even wear her hair like that? Like, she has a little bit of self-respect. It was just heinous.
The wigs are terrible. Nobody's wig is worse than Bree's, but they're all pretty bad.
Bree's changes quite a bit. She was teasing it up when what's his name goes missing, Jimmy.
Get her a lace front, for God's sakes! Why did the wigs? 1980 something. Why do those wigs look like hard front wigs?
But again, why does she need one? Like, example, in Good Omens, is that Michael Sheen's hair bleached?
Yes.
He did it
within an inch of its life.
That's David Tennant's hair bleached when it's short. Now, when he's like got long hair, it's obviously a wig. But like,
yes,
they did their fucking hair for a fucking show.
Yes,
amazing. Imagine.
And she looks good, or she at least looks like something as a redhead. As a blonde, she just looks like.
And here's the other thing about that.
Sorry to this man, I do not know.
I slightly understand somebody like Sam who had thinning hair and who had a few other things in the pipe that after like season 2, season 3 was kind of like, hey, can we do wigs? This is really wearing my scalp out. And I've got stuff coming up, down the pike or whatever. Fine. What does Sophie have going on? And her hair is not falling out. I bleached my hair for 13 years. Honey, you could handle being red for a few years for a role. And red is not hard to cover up with dark, like with bleach or whatever. I mean, it kind of is, but she could handle it.
But
Just
it
do
doesn't
it.
even have to be flaming red. You know, she can do just like a basic auburn because there's
Yeah.
some moments where I see Jamie and I was just like, oh, the sun has made him blonde.
And age, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know what you are talking about, Jessica. Kat and the producers decided to have less sex because of Jamie and Claire's age. Were we talking about them having sex?
Maybe earlier.
Um,
Oh, how they never really, they just lay next to each other now.
yeah. I don't miss like are people like upset about the sex? Of course people are upset that they're not having sex. What am I talking about? I don't miss it. It didn't bother me one bit.
I think that the scenes that they have are so awkward. She climbs on top of him and is immediately moaning. Get out of here.
She's rasping, you mean? Girl needs
Oh,
a
gosh. And she makes that sound too when something bad
albuterol.
happens. Yeah, like when what's his name died, the woodcock.
You're
She was
always
like,
talking about things I have no idea what they are.
Isn't
When
that his
she-
name, Mr. Woodcock?
Woodcock, yeah, because Mercy Woodcock's his wife.
Yes.
Y'all are
She amputates his leg, and then he gets an embolism, and he dies. And she
What?
just starts wheezing.
never seen that before in my life. I have no
And the
idea what
only
you're talking
reason that he's there is so you'll remember the name Woodcock. So then when
When you see
Lord
Mercy, you're like,
John's
oh.
nephew starts having an affair with his wife, or it's
Dang, I
it's
don't know what
all
we're talking about. But
complicated. Also, Jessica, I love you. I'm almost 50. We still have fun sex.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm not in my 50s yet, but I'm pretty sure it's not going to slow down. If anything, it might speed up. Speed
Yeah.
up.
Well, we just do it
Increase
earlier.
in frequency.
Yeah. Tick up.
I am ride or die until
Mhm.
9 p.m.
It's actually very true. In fact, our kids are very aware. Like, is it 3:00 in the afternoon? Leave us alone.
Yes. Sky rockets in flight. Afternoon delight.
How are we feeling about Ian and Rachel? The girl that
Okay.
plays Rachel is incredibly, incredibly pretty. Very
So
pretty.
pretty.
That's how I feel. That's all I got.
She's very pretty. I don't really give a shit about them. What I liked about her in the book is she had kind of this earthiness to her. And I feel like, and maybe I
Ooh.
just totally envisioned this in my own mind, that she was just, her hair was down more often. She was just, again, like a little bit dirtier because of what her work was, always kind of sweaty. Like, this girl just seems a little too, like, her skin is too pure and, like, I don't know.
She's pristine.
I
Yeah.
like her. I really like her relationship with her brother. I think the two of them, when they're on screen together, are really cute.
I agree.
They're sweet. The only thing I didn't like about the Ian Rachel was that there was no build up to this whatsoever. You had them in the episodes, and so I guess we're supposed to infer that Ian is seeing her a lot more than. But like in 708, it was suddenly like, you love me. And I'm like, what? You've seen him 3 times. Slow down, crazy. Slow down.
Yeah.
Does anyone get that reference?
No.
No.
Sassy Gay Friend on YouTube. Look it up. Romeo and
Oh,
Juliet.
yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
You met him on Thursday. It's Sunday. Slow down, crazy. Slow down.
I thought that it was like silly that he was like, let's kiss right after he told her that he brought some goose grease for somebody's arsehole.
Thank you.
That's not romantic.
Slippery, as greasy as grease can be.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know.
slippery.
Kind of structure.
And Meredith
But
just
also,
said,
I
no,
think
there was
that's
3 minutes of
very-
them staring.
That's like very Ian though, of like, here's something for
Yeah, but
someone
it seems like
heinous.
he should be more mature now. Like he shouldn't be making declarations like that or going after girls that quickly. Like he's supposed to be a man now. He should know better.
Well, I mean, how many have we met that are still, they don't know
So-
no better?
Jessica feels like the chemistry isn't there, but honestly, Jessica, the chemistry isn't there with anyone. So, I mean, they're at least cute. Do you know what I
It was
mean?
there
Like,
between Jamie and Daniel Morgan.
And I thought it was a little bit there between Claire and Benedict Arnold.
Yes.
yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm.
And then because of what he said, his little Jamie's poem, I was just like, I think this is going to be Benedict Arnold, but I was like, is this going to be Robert Browning? I was thinking he's going to steal this line from him. Like, I can't really remember. Like, stuff.
What was the line?
It was from a Robert Browning poem.
Why did Jamie and Claire give a shit if she's quoted something from? No one's gonna remember.
No. And also that scene was a little too of like, what are you talking about? Like there was some fun, playful philosophy banter, but I was just like, my brain hurts.
That's what people did back then. They talked about shit like that. They talked in
I
philosophical
guess.
terms, and it was boring as shit. Aren't you
Yeah.
glad we have other things to discuss, like fanfic and
So
good omens?
I went down because I pay for it every month, but I never do anything with my family tree. So I went down this line of my family tree this week on my mom's father's side. And my 6th great grandmother was a Quaker. And we have the record of her marrying my 6th great grandfather because of the minutes of her being kicked out of the Quaker meeting for marrying him.
Wow.
That's cool.
Yeah, but do you know what happened to her grandmother? She was murdered by her own slaves in a slave rebellion, and I'm just like, too bad, so sad.
Oh my god.
Yes,
That's
the
awesome.
Tyson Sibleys of North Carolina.
If the grandmother was the grandmother not Quaker, I thought they didn't have slaves.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't know
weird.
if she
What happened
became
here?
a Quaker later. I haven't really quite figured out the connection between her and her I haven't done the grandmother
Okay.
that in depth yet.
Yeah.
The mother that in depth of Sibley. Her name was Sibby. That was what everybody called her, Sibby.
Okay,
and
so
Rose
grandmother- grandmother.
killed her.
Oh wow. Amazing.
I know.
Good.
I
like-
want to say the don't touch me or I'll go all the way. That part bugged me with Ian and Rachel, where he's like, you need to not touch me or I'm going to take you right here. Why do people that write this show, or Diana, who probably wrote that exact line in her book, think that that's hot?
Did she write an episode this season?
I don't know.
I want to look it up though.
Somebody in the chat will know.
Somebody in the chat will know.
Diane, Meredith, did Diana write an episode?
Amy knows.
But yeah, I also agree that the these and thous are unnatural
I
sounding.
mean, we knew that was going to be a
Yeah.
cringe.
Also, the grammar is off because the stands in place for you, and he says like, "Is the upset?" instead of "Are the upset?" It stands in place of you, right?
But also, like, why do you even need to keep that in there?
I agree. Like it's a very like I get that when you're reading it, your brain can kind of like move through it, and it just gives you kind of
Yes.
like a split second reference that this is a like a more formal or a more staid character, and you can just kind of brush past it. But in the medium of television, the these and thous are very awkward when everything else is normal and everything else is the same, and it doesn't have the same like immediate connection. It doesn't give you
Yeah.
anything about the character. It does not help. It detracts because it's so awkward sounding. It's different than when it's in print. They should have just not done it. It's very stupid.
It's like the Jesus H. Roosevelt Christ. It looks good on
Yes.
the page. It does not sound cool when you say it.
Yes, agreed. Yes. So yes, Meredith said she did write that, which of course it sounds like something Diana would write. And Purely said, I didn't like it in the book and I don't like it in the show. I agree. I agree. It's just a
The
dumb
these
thing
and
to
thous.
say. Also, because they barely kissed. Why? How are you that hard up, Ian? You have Rolo.
Yeah.
But come on. No, he's not banging the
no.
dog. Gross, Beth.
He probably is.
No, I
No,
know.
he would go find a sheep first. Come on. They're more docile.
I think you never know.
Oh my god. I don't think she wrote a solo episode this half of the season. I think she's listed as a writer on like every episode, but I think that she will have her own full episode, but after the break.
Does he go to sex workers on the reg? In the books? I can't remember.
I can't either.
I don't remember.
I didn't read past the Fiery Cross, so he was still like a little boy then ish.
Was he on the boat going back to Scotland
And so
in the show? But in the books, he's not.
So she did they
I feel
I
like when
forget.
he sees his mother for the first time, she's in America.
Jenny comes to America.
Yeah.
Dumb. Why
Yes,
the
he
fuck
did.
would they go back?
To get his
Ian
printing
dies.
press.
So why the fuck would they go back? Jamie's so happy to see Scotland. Why the fuck do you go back to America?
To go get Jenny and the printing
Somebody
press?
splits up. They split up. So Claire ends up back in America somehow. I don't remember. And then
It's not like you get
Yes.
stuck in the Charlotte airport. It's really
Yes.
fucking hard to get to America in the 18th century. You
Well,
don't accidentally
made
get
it
there.
They made it seem like the boat ride was no problem, and then all of a sudden they look up. But
It
yeah,
is a once in a lifetime trip. The people
get
that go
separated.
across the Atlantic in the 18th
Yes.
fucking century never return unless they are statesmen or incredibly wealthy. And even then, they don't go do it for fun. They went and checked on their plantations and went the fuck back. You don't just make the trip over and over and over again. Why the fuck would Claire accidentally go to America? Did she get transported? Did somebody put her in a cask of Amontillado and she ended up over there? What happened? Dumb.
I don't remember.
These books are dumb.
I just remember
because then
Claire
that's when they
goes
get
back.
separated, because then Claire
They
thinks that Jamie drowned
dead.
on the way back, and then that's why she does the.
They already did that. They thought each other drowned in the hurricane in the
There's only
Caribbean.
so many ways to die.
Wait a minute.
Dumb ways to die.
Wait a minute. They think John and Claire think that Jamie is dead, and that's why they get married, and that's why they fuck, because they miss him. So they're fucking each other thinking about Jamie. I thought they thought he died in battle. It's
A boat ride.
It's a
I think
boat
it's
ride.
ride.
It's the boat
Yes,
ride.
Jennifer's
They think the
right.
boat sinks.
Leary leaves to go do surgery on Henri Christian. because they get
Leary is
letters.
back.
Well, she's in Scotland still, and I think they get a
letter.
letter from what's her name?
Marcelly.
We haven't seen her on season.
I
She's
know.
not in it.
I loved her.
I like Marcelly too.
Marcelly Parsley.
Yeah,
It's the only way I knew how to pronounce the name. I used to call her Marsali.
that's what I call her. It's Marsali, leg hair. It's still
Okay, so everybody's like, Leary asked Claire to do surgery on Henri Christian. So that's why she goes back.
Mm-hmm.
And Jenny
Yeah.
doesn't want to stay in Scotland due to memories of old Ian. Are you fucking kidding me? I have
And
lived
then
in the same fucking town my entire life. I got lots of memories I'm not super happy about. I live in the same neighborhood that my ex-boyfriend's parents still live in, down the street from the house where he abused me for 4 years. Am I worried about it? No, I live here. I live here, bitch. This is where I live. Jenny
Well, I
can't live
think
in
that
the whole fucking Scotland. She can't live in Scotland because Ian died of natural causes at 60.
but her whole family and
Tuberculosis. He dies of the consumption.
Oh, but she does
Tuberculosis
have
is
other
the number one
children that
killer.
are there, right? Yeah. She
Yeah,
has
what
other
the
kids still
fuck?
in Scotland.
She has
Y'all-
other kids.
Y'all have got to be making this up. No,
No.
way is that why Jenny can't
And
stay
then
in
she
Scotland.
comes over, and then Henri Christian dies anyway. His head gets cracked open. He falls off a roof or something.
Yeah.
Oh,
Doesn't he?
yeah. Y'all told me
It's a
about
fire.
It
that.
makes that
The
sound
printing-
like
And Germain like thinks it's his fault.
Yeah, because he
Yes.
drops him.
I
It's sad, actually.
think that is all of that stupid.
Well,
None
she
of that
kept-
is.
she kept that character alive just so she could have him die.
Yeah, she's like, I'm going to introduce somebody else and I'm going to do it without any kind of like care and thought. And then I'm just
Yeah.
going to crack his skull open.
She's like, rape or death? Rape or death?
So dumb.
Mm.
Doesn't Jenny want to travel? It's kind of a widow thing to do. Okay, traveling is her going to the continent. It's not going to America. America is not like exotic at this point in
Meredith
time.
is like,
It's
she just wants to go to Boca.
America's like a fucking wilderness. It's not exciting.
It's not
I
just a
mean-
wilderness. It's in the middle of a war
Right.
of the revolution.
I mean, nobody in Scotland's coming to America now. You know?
Yeah.
Crazy. How many kids does she leave behind? That's a good question.
Well, then
She
she
has,
has
like, 7, right?
grandkids.
Yeah, and grandkids and stuff. Who's watching the kids so that her daughters can go work part-time? Oh my God. Anything else we talk about this episode? The colonies are not an all-inclusive resort. They're not sandals. Boston is no sandals.
I
She
get
wants
it.
to go to hedonism.
She's never had an opportunity to go see the world. She hasn't seen Ian. She was like, well, whatever. I'll just head back to America with you idiots.
Seeing the world. I just keep thinking about like 18th century seeing the world. It did not encompass the new world. That was not what you did. Nobody did
No.
that. You only, if you were European at all, you only
Yeah,
went
you
to
went
America
to
if you had to
Venice.
for business or politics.
You went to Italy or Venice to Rome to see the statues. or
Spain,
something.
France, Prague. Go somewhere else. I guess it wasn't Prague. What was it called back then? I don't know.
Prague was
Okay.
its
Yeah.
name back then.
Are you thinking about
I was like
Buddha
Prussia.
and
I'm like
Buddha
the
and
is like
Pest?
Prussia.
Buddha and Pest.
Yeah.
Diana says the cold open was good, but I don't remember what it was.
Oh, it was Claire fighting the mom and the little boy that were trying.
Oh,
to
yeah, I
kill
liked
Jamie.
that.
Oh yeah.
It was okay. I think that the pace, the editing for that scene was off. Claire comes out of nowhere, and it's almost like she was just like hanging out at Jamie's feet, and these people
Yeah,
started
yeah,
like
yeah.
attacking him, and then she was like, "Stop it!" Instead of it looking like Claire's looking for Jamie, and then she stumbles, she sees this in the, you know what I mean? Like there was no stakes.
She's like Ken popping up in the back of
Yeah.
Buddy's car.
It's just like there she is. That was very
Yeah,
badly
like they didn't see her
cobbled
out of
together.
nowhere. Yeah.
Yeah. The cold open was the boot.
What's the boot?
The thing that's hanging down, that's the title card actually. Like that's when they do the title of the episode, there's this boot hanging upside down on a horse.
Oh.
So the cold open was good acting on Katrina's part. Yeah, I guess. I'll fucking kill you. Yeah, I mean, it's a good line.
I'll fucking kill you.
But she's so raspy.
Yeah.
And yeah, Jamie was alive. Like, I don't know why Jamie's just like laying there while a woman's talking about killing him. Like he's conscious. It's just his hand hurts. What the hell is going on this show?
But again, why are they even doing any of this? Leave. They need to go to Boca. They need to go live their old ass lives. You're not going to change anything because you don't want to.
Like that was the whole like thing that I had with like them talking about Benedict Arnold. Like she tells him, okay, they met and she's like, oh God, I think I'm gonna fall over. Like, and I get that if you didn't know that she was gonna encounter somebody like Benedict Arnold, because she's already encountered George Washington. Why is she that like starstruck, I guess? And then she has this conversation with Jamie where she's like, well, you know, he's going to turn his coat and it's going to be a big deal. He'll forever be known as like the turncoat. And he's like, but we're not going to do anything, right? We need him to do that because when he does it, we win. And she's like, yeah. So essentially they meet this guy to have this conversation about how they can't interfere at all with this guy. It's just, there are no stakes there. There's nothing for them to grasp onto and bite into and make real in their lives. It's just a thing that happens to them. It might as well be a bear fart. It just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. It's just something to be like about, and then it's over.
Yeah, laudanum to have a discussion about heroin.
Well, that the fan service with the finger too. Obviously, they're not going to remove his finger because they're not going to pay to CGI his damn finger out every time.
I don't know. What's the fan service there? I don't get the reference.
So in the book, he has that stuck finger.
Yeah.
So he breaks it for like the 88,000th time.
Because it's always sticking out.
Because it's always sticking out. Like he's like on it with his sword like this. So she cuts it off.
I'm gonna get ya.
She cuts his finger off?
Yeah, she takes his finger off. Amputates the whole thing. So I was like, oh, they started having this conversation, and I was like, there is no way they're putting that in this show. There's just no way, because it's too expensive,
Mhm.
and you're not going to pay to do that every episode. And then it turned out she was like, I couldn't do it, and I was like, so
Remember
why
when they
waste
had in
10
season
minutes?
1 and they had Column and he had his like giraffe leg or whatever? They used to do it. And Ian had a peg leg and they used to do it. They used to put him in a green screen little thing and they took his leg out. Same thing with Column. He had on those little crazy socks. Those
Yeah.
Frank Lloyd Wright socks that he used to wear. So I'm just saying they used to do this stuff. They used to care about this show. Why couldn't they do that with Jamie's finger? Because he's in too many
He
scenes.
begs her to take it off, or he tells her to do it because he's like, I'm sick of this.
How did I not know that Jamie didn't have his most important finger?
It wasn't this. I think it's his ring finger.
Oh,
Mm.
the middle finger is the most important finger
I mean, for me,
for everybody.
when I'm driving.
Not. Oh, I thought I was like, Angie.
No, when I'm driving.
I was like, what is your commute like?
Amy thought you were really using your finger while you're driving.
Mm.
Oh, well.
Yeah. So is this moment between Jamie and William where, because I'm asking because Jessica just said this thing. Is this a big moment in the book, like where he gives him his hat and is like, I think I owe you a hat? Because they made it seem like it was this big moment for him to be like, I wanted to talk to my son just once as a man. And I was like, all you did was hand him a hat. Y'all didn't have a conversation. Is that supposed to be really sentimental and sweet or something? Or like sad for Jamie? It was nothing.
When does he realize that that's his dad?
Book 8.
I thought that he knows. I thought he found out because of something that happens with Lord John and Claire being married for a minute. Doesn't he?
Mm.
They're at Lord John's house. And they say something about the stinking papist, and they throws the rosary beads. They're at Lord John's house, and for some reason it comes out.
Yes, he's having like a fit.
Yeah, he has
remember
he
that.
melts
He's
down
breaking
about it.
shit. Yeah. Because he's a
Throws
whiny ass
the
titty
rosary back
baby.
up. Yeah.
Well, why did Jamie even try to shoot his hat off? Like,
He was just shooting.
He was
didn't know it
just
was him.
shooting. He didn't know it was him. He just shot someone's hat off to
I
avoid
thought
having to kill his cousin.
Oh, I thought he saw his cousin and was like, well, I'll just fuck around with my son and scare him or something.
Mm-mm.
I thought he could see that it was him. Okay.
No, because then he says, I almost killed my son for the second time.
But
Yeah.
that shows like how poorly done that scene is, that you can't tell that it was an accident unless, you know what I mean? Like it's not super clear. Even though
Well,
like
yeah, because you're you're the sniper. Like you should then, I would still expect, I've watched Band of Brothers enough. The snipers know what they're shooting at.
I think it was more like Sam's acting when he realizes it's William wasn't clear enough. It probably was written fine, but he just wasn't doing the right
It
thing.
was like,
How do you make that look good? Like, you can't exactly be like,
I mean, a lot of ways. I think that he could have easily, he could have turned away from the battle. There's just like a lot of stuff he could have done. He did
none
the
of the
wrong
way.
thing.
None
He
of the
could've
ways Sam
barfed.
did it.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been
Barfed.
good.
Yeah. But I still don't get, like, we're still just playing up for so much time, the William thing. And I'm like, what is anything ever going to happen with this? Does it even
because
matter?
this is all like, it's leading to nothing.
Yeah.
It does lead to nothing. William finds out, basically was like, you know what? Fuck it. I don't want any of the money. I don't want the title. I'm renouncing it all. I'm giving it all up. And then he just wanders around America doing fuck all. Like, through
Right.
books 8 and 9, William has done absolutely nothing except fall in love with a hooker, I think.
Yeah,
but
but
not
like,
really.
we're clearly aware of that is what's happening constantly. We just said how Buck has no purpose. There's no reason for him to go to the future except have this like moment. So it's like she's writing all of these meandering stories to have like
Yeah.
moments.
Well, because the fatal flaw is that her biggest plot device, the war, we already know the outcome. There is no stakes there. Like Game
Yeah.
of Thrones, you're still trying to figure out who's going to win the throne. And then, like, book one, we don't even really care about who wins Culloden because you only care about them finding each other and staying together and them being together. And then now that, like, the war is on, they're like, we know what happens.
Yeah. And then the actual big stakes, because for the most part, there aren't any stakes for anybody that's a time traveler except for Claire. Because when Mandy can't live or whatever, go through the stones. When Claire's gonna have a baby and that baby may not like live forever, go through the stones. So like anytime any of the time travelers have anything like really, stressful happen to them, Jimmy gets kidnapped through the stones. Roger's going back through the stones to go find him. There's no real stakes there, right? Like that's not important at all. The only thing that matters is that Jamie can't go through the stones. So Claire has to remain if you want them to stay together. So forever, Jamie is constantly like getting super close to death because there's nothing else that you can do and nobody else's like pain or, danger, physical danger or whatever matters because they can just escape it.
Yeah. Yeah, because even the war doesn't feel dangerous. Like
It's just about how long are Jamie and Claire going to be able to like keep it up, essentially. Like how long are they going to be able to, are they going to live? Because that's really what the stakes are. Because the war doesn't matter to them. It doesn't affect them at all. And there's times when it does. There's times when like Brianna needs to go back and tell her parents not to be home because their house is going to burn down. There's some stakes there. Like that's fine. But then like once she decides to stay there and have her children there, like all of the things that would normally be problematic aren't problematic. It's just, it's just not.
Yeah,
It's not good. It's
compelling.
it continues to just be fan fiction of itself, and it should have ended after book 3.
Yeah, it's just Ridge shit at this point.
Yeah.
Like when he opened up that little case of stuff, I was like, "Ooh, what's in there? What kind of herbs you got in there?"
Yeah.
I want
Or
to
when
see her
she's
open
like
CVS.
like doing Jamie's hand or whatever, I'm like, how many times is she going to put alcohol on those blades? And why isn't she just putting the blades in a little dish of alcohol? Why does she keep like pouring the alcohol on them? And that's wasteful. Like just put them all in something. Like that's all I care about at this point is like sanitation.
Yes. Yeah, because there's never like in Good Omens, there was the Antichrist.
Yeah.
And then that's averted. This one is, Gabriel. And then the next season is like, oh, don't worry, we've got something else called The Second Coming.
The next season is going to be insane.
Yeah.
This season was just like an interlude to get you to
I
the
didn't
third
see it
to get
yet.
to the third
This
season.
theme was just us.
Oh my
Followed
god.
by a
This season was so good. I've watched it already twice.
I didn't see it yet. I'm saving it because when we have literally no content, I'm going to need stuff to watch. So
Yeah.
there's a bunch of things that I'm leaving in the queue.
I couldn't
David
wait
Tennant
for that
is
one.
so watchable. Like
Michael Sheen is too. They're both just like
he is,
infinitely
very
but
watchable.
the way that Tennant plays him like he's Keith Richards, like there is just
Insouciance. Insouciance. Yeah. And I want to watch their show. They did that like COVID show.
Ruby said that it's
was
on
cute.
some random thing. Is it on BritBox or something?
Maybe. I feel it's got to be on YouTube, but it's called Staged or whatever.
Yeah.
I watched it.
It's not
It
good.
feels like
good.
No, it was great. It just feels like 10 years ago, so I can't tell you shit about it.
Oh.
I remember watching it and being like, yes, I love this.
Yeah. Because I love them, even if it's like exaggerated versions of them. Which is what we were talking about with Men in Kilts. Like all good actors should do this, apparently. Do exaggerated versions of yourself on shows.
I'm into it.
Watchable. It's very watchable.
Yes. What platform? I'll hold on. Let's Google it.
I can't wait until Michael David Berry comes back. He is so freaking delicious. I
Oh,
love
David
him.
Barry.
Oh, did you put that song on again? I fucking hate you, Ben. I hate you, Amy. Honestly.
I do want to put that on my playlist now, though. My good time playlist. Oh yes, Jury Duty was really good. If you haven't watched Jury Duty with
Oh,
James
it
Corden,
was
so good.
Jury Duty. That's like
so
one of
good.
my favorite shows this year. It was so good. And that Ronald
Mm-hmm.
is a national treasure.
Oh,
Like that man.
adorable.
Oh,
The
like protect
kind
him
of-
at all costs.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yes, because that show could have gone wrong 1,000 ways. But boy,
Yes.
did they pick the right guy because he was just the absolute fucking sweetest. Not one hint of toxic masculinity at all. I'm like, where do I
Mhm.
find one of you, sir? Do you have a
Mhm.
brother who's maybe a little
Right.
older? Because I'm older than you.
I
If
think
you're
that they
looking-
probably like edited it to make him look the best that he could look.
I'm
they've
sure.
got there have to
I'm
be
sure they
moments
did
where
some
he,
background of like, is this guy a piece of shit in any way?
yeah.
Yeah. If you're looking for a drama that also has no stakes because you know the outcome, The Offer on Paramount Plus is so good because Matthew Good plays Bob Evans, and
Okay.
From
it's
Bob
19
Evans Restaurants.
Well, he's playing Robert Evans, the former top producer, the head of Paramount Studios, former husband of Ally McGraw. The kid
Oh.
stays in the picture.
I thought we were
He's like,
talking about.
so you want to make a movie, kid? Like, he is just so fucking sexy.
I love
Everything
Matthew Good.
is velvet,
too.
velour, Chateau Marmont. It is amazing.
I don't have
But it's
Paramount
about
Plus.
it's about the making of The Godfather, which you know got made, so it's not
I also have never seen The Godfather.
The
Neither have I.
Godfather, which is what we call it now from Barbie. She's like, "Are you watching The Godfather?"
Dawn's asking if anybody watched Daisy Jones and the Six.
No,
I tried. I
it's not
hated it.
good.
I hated it. But I hated the book. Like, not hate is a strong word. I really thought the book was trash. And yeah, I tried watching it. Like, I just fundamentally it's about an affair that didn't happen. And there's no sex, like there's again no tension there. The whole book is about, they couldn't stay together because they had so much sexual like chemistry, and he was cheating on his wife, but he never cheated on his wife, and they didn't have sex. So like it's boring.
Oh, it was all just us with no.
Yeah. They barely kissed like one time. It's
No,
dumb.
I don't. Yeah, that
Yeah.
like I feel like that works in the Age of Innocence, kind of. But Taylor Jenkins Reid wrote it.
Yep.
Nope. I hated Carrie Soto is back. I stopped that after like 10 pages.
Yeah, she's not good.
Yeah.
But I highly recommend Good Omens if y'all haven't watched it. Also Heartstopper, and I'm enjoying The Summer I Turned Pretty with my kids. It's a fun
Actually,
time.
Meredith just made a comment earlier about like, is this what it's like to know the Bible really well? The way that she knows Outlander. Ruby doesn't know the Bible at all, and so many things I would be like, "Do you know what this is? Do you know who Job is? Do you?"
Oh, that's how Emerson is too. My
Yeah.
youngest, like, we're watching Good Omens together, and she's like, "Did this really happen? Did God really bet with Satan?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "And he let him do all this stuff to Job?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "And he was like the best guy in the world." And I was like, "Yeah." And she just was like, "Why were you a Christian?" And I was like, "I don't know."
It's like, it's like if you want to deprogram someone, show them Life of Brian and Good Omens season 1, or season 2, whatever Job. Yeah, like
Yeah.
this
is how it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's bonkers. But yeah. And if y'all haven't read Good Omens, you should. It's one of my absolute favorites.
Which book couldn't you get through purely?
I think she meant Daisy Jones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Good-
indoctrination from birth. That's why we were Christians.
Yes. Good Omens is a delightful read.
So, what miniseries is she talking about? The new miniseries with Sam Heughan.
I don't know.
Is he in something new?
No, he's in this Men in Kilts. Is that what you mean, Jessica? That's the only thing I know he's in.
What if he's like in a whole new show and none of us know because we don't pay attention to what he's doing?
No,
I
you know
would
what? He
know.
and what's his name from Bridgerton that made that big mistake by leaving.
Reggae
Yeah.
Jean.
Like, how did Dungeons and Dragons work out for you, dude?
Dungeons and Dragons probably should have been a higher grossing movie if like movie going was
Yeah.
If
but
it had
wasn't.
like Barbie push, but it didn't.
Yeah,
I
so
quite
now-
liked it.
I haven't
Dungeons
watched
and
it yet.
Dragons. I thought it was cute.
I love Chris Pine. I love Hugh Grant. I like Reggae Jean. Like it should be good, but like, yeah, I don't know.
If I want to watch a good Hugh Grant movie, I will watch Paddington 2.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Or Notting Hill, which is one of my favorites of all time.
Oh my gosh, I love that movie.
I like music and lyrics. True confessions, that movie was trash, but I just can't stop watching it.
Oh no, I love that movie.
Oh, really? I
Love
thought I was the only
Autopsy?
one.
You and me, something here, we're just a love autopsy. That was terrible.
I don't know what
I
y'all are
like
talking
that,
about.
thank you.
You never
Music
saw
and lyrics?
lyrics with Drew Barrymore.
Mm-mm.
Pop
Mm-mm.
goes my heart.
Pop goes my heart. Pop goes my heart.
He was in a movie with Celine Dion, and I'm the biggest.
Dawn,
Celine
we're
Dion-
pretending that did not happen. We are
I'm the
really,
biggest
for
Celine
Sam's
fan in
sake,
the world. I'm not watching it.
for Sam's sake, we are pretending like that does not exist.
Stars
I'm watching
Thriller,
that
The
shit.
Couple Next Door. Wait, we should be watching this, or Sam is in it. What? What is this, y'all?
Really?
He's in something we don't know about. I knew it. I love it. I love that.
Well,
not
Is
a
he
fan.
good guy, bad guy? What is the tea?
The Couple Next Door is a thriller by like Megan Miranda or somebody like that, right?
I don't know.
It's a book by Shari Lapina.
Sherry Lapina. Yeah. Megan Miranda,
Domestic
Sherry Lapina, same thing.
Suspense.
Like the girl in the train, the girl,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that kind of stuff. Yeah.
It's going to be Evie and Pete. Which one is which? Oh, they have a passionate night of something but beautiful. It's something? Oh,
Let me just say, Sherry Lapina, as a librarian, she gets a lot of play. Like her books are always out. People love her books. I mean, most people like the people in my zip code for my library, very
Yes.
much into mysteries and thrillers, very much into the
Hmm.
domestic thriller. So, but her books are always checked out constantly. So maybe it'll be good.
Or
You know, it's got Big Little Lies energy.
yes,
That's what about the book. That
be
kind of
on what?
stars.
Of course.
So it's probably going to be bad. Who else is in it?
No one I've ever heard of. Eleanor Tomlinson.
I love
Oh,
her.
Yeah, she's
From
great.
Poldark. She's
Yeah.
great.
Oh, I do love her. She was in the White Princess.
Was she?
Yeah. She was in one of those
Oh,
Stars
and Alfie
Princess
Enoch.
movies.
Alfie Enoch from Harry Potter and How to Get Away with Murder.
I don't know him.
Yeah, you do. He's in Harry
Yeah,
Potter.
I guess. I don't really watch. I have not really watched Harry Potter movies.
But he and Eleanor Tomlinson are the leads.
They're the leads, and then Sam has an affair with her. He lives next door, and his wife is Jessica DeGao.
I don't know who that is.
I don't know who that is either.
She's got gorgeous lips. She's Australian. She looks
Okay.
like she was an Arrow.
No clue.
Now I have You and Me. Da-na-na. I love Autopsy.
Interesting. Well, good to know. Thank you, Jessica, for giving us that information. Speaking of Bridgerton, we'll be back for season 3. As long as it's not, we're still not striking. I don't consider Hangoutlander covering or promoting a show because it's panning it.
Just we trash it.
Well,
Um,
I was listening to Las Culturistas,
Mhm.
and Bowen Yang and Matt Rogers were having a conversation about that. Like, it's kind of complex, like how you're supposed to talk about things.
Yeah.
But they both agreed that if it is something that's already out and you're just talking about it and reviewing it, and you're not having like stars on so they can promote it, you can talk about whatever culture you want to talk about.
Yeah. Because I felt weird talking about the fact that I was watching Red, White, and Royal Blue like the day that it came out. And I was like, I'm not promoting this movie. I'm not enjoying it. I'm just letting the people that my friends know that I'm watching this terrible movie right now. Like, I don't know. I'm not interviewing them. I'm not asking for swag, like I'm not doing any promotion. I'm just talking about stuff. So anyway,
You
we
also
will,
trashed it, so
I did trash it. I barely trashed it. All I did was say nope. That's all I said because it was terrible.
Were you able to finish it?
Yeah, I finished it. It was awful. It was awful. But we will do Benjerton for sure. I'm excited about it.
I can't wait.
When does that start?
Christmas.
January? Christmas.
Yeah.
If they don't have this shit resolved by Christmas, I'm gonna be so pissed. Pay the writers, pay the actors. End of story. Like it's gonna cut into 1/10 of your, not even 1/10 of your CEO fucking salary. Go fuck yourself. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
It's endemic. It's not like it's not just Hollywood. Clearly, it's a problem across all industries and across all, demographics. And, federal government needs to step in and break up.
Well, it's like that guy cosplaying a poor person, that Virginia song or whatever, like complaining about. Well, he's complaining about poor people on welfare, but then he's also like complaining about not being paid. And I'm like, sounds like you need a union. I feel like we need a nationwide strike.
Yeah, I agree.
And, yeah,
I'd get fined if I went on strike.
yeah. So do our teachers. They can only write. What do you call it? Work to. We call it something here, but they just do like they come in to do their hours. Then that's it. Something to work.
In service?
No, I forget what it's called.
Do y'all have
they have it in their contract that they can't strike.
Do you have a union, Andy? Are you union? See, we don't have hardly any unions in Tennessee. So
Yeah.
Very
Guys,
few.
Work to the rule. Yes, thank you, Laura. Work to rule.
I was right, work to the rule. So they follow the exact rule of the letter, and then they won't do anything extra. So like all the extra shit that we do, they wouldn't do it. They wouldn't grade outside school. They
We
wouldn't
don't have sports when that happens. All of that stuff. Yeah.
Fair enough. I can't imagine, like there were other teachers like posting what their teacher salaries were after 15 years. And I was like, listen, guys, they say that teaching is a passion career. And believe you me, I'm very passionate about my career. There is absolutely no way on God's green earth I would ever have worked for what other people have are making with 15 years on the job and required master's degrees in some of these states. Y'all can go fuck yourself.
That's how it is in Tennessee. It's why I don't do it. Like
absolutely not. That's crazy.
I couldn't get a job right out of college because I only had a BA, which is fine. Like, okay, I'll go get my master's. But when I got my master's, I was going to start in 2004 making $39,000 a year as a teacher.
That's appalling.
And if I was doing it now, if I'd been doing it all of this time, if I'd gotten my master's and been doing it all of this time, I'd be making like 65.
Yeah.
That's preposterous.
Yeah. Yep.
Get a union, people.
Yeah.
Get a union.
Anyway, that was Hangoutlander. I started at $23K in North Carolina. Yeah, that was what the private school pays were in Tennessee. That's what they were like when I was looking.
Whoa.
When I started, private school pay was maybe $10,000, like 36. But that was way under. That was at least 20K under what you would start at without a master's degree in New York.
Yeah. All right, guys, this has been fun, but I have to go help my daughter make something. She has to make a recipe with at least 4 ingredients for her chemistry class. And she told me right before we started this.
Oh.
Right.
So
that sounds fun though.
Doesn't it? What should I make her? I don't even know what I have. I have a lemon.
A lemon could work.
I don't know.
Sugar.
Yeah.
Lemon, sugar, milk, cream.
Yeah. Oat milk.
Oat milk.
I got an egg. I have an egg. I don't think I have enough lemon.
Oh, I was just gonna say you could make like a lemon curd. but
Yeah,
Not if you don't have a lot. Dawn, I'm in New York.
she is.
So when I started, I think I made like 55, I think, as a BA, not a master's, in 2004.
Not bad. Better than Tennessee for sure.
No.
Anyway, not that I'm making a lot of money as a librarian. I am not. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Guys, we love you. Thank you for joining us for Hangoutlander. And we don't have to do this again. Oh my God. I forgot to celebrate. I should have brought like a recorder so I could.
But I love seeing all of you guys. I
I
love
love
chatting
seeing
with
y'all.
all the people that we chat with. They're all good.
Yes, y'all are
Yes.
incredible. And I love you all very dearly. And we will talk about other things. We should probably talk about the Red, White, Royal Blue movie. And we need to talk about
Yeah.
Good Omens. I really want to talk about Good Omens.
I would love to
Man.
talk about Good Omens.
Well, all right. Maybe I want
You
to
need
see
to watch
it. All right, I'll watch.
Have you watched season 1?
Oh, of course.
Oh, okay. Okay. Just watch it. It's only 6 episodes and it's so rewatchable. It's so rewatchable.
Mhm.
All right.
You're not missing out. All right. Bye, guys. Good night. Love you all. Mwah, 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 mwah,
Bye.
mwah.